Thank you, Mr. Chairman of the occasion and the Chairman of OXA. It is an honor and privilege for me to come back to OXA since 2012. Interestingly, this is my first major event outside of Sierra Leone since I became a member of parliament, since after the election. So it's a wonderful coincidence that it is a Cambia event. I feel very honored to be with you. Indeed, tomorrow I'll do the longer version of the speech. But I have chosen a topic of responsible leadership, and indeed this evening I saw the display of responsible leadership. I see what you are doing for your school, for your community. But I was very impressed when the chairman of OXA, Baraka, started off making a plea for other people to succeed him. Sometimes people are in leadership, they don't want to leave. Whether it's Mugabe or some other people, they ask for more time. If we don't give them more time, they will create more time. They like the prestige, the honor, and everything. Some of them, in fact, those who work less want to stay there longer. So Baraka, indeed, good sign of leadership in OXA, UNCD, and others encouraging the younger people. Please answer that call and lead. So I talk about responsible leadership because our country is at crossroads. I've been back now, I'll be exactly 3 years, 22nd of August, since I abandoned everything and went back to Sierra Leone. I've been deep in the politics. You know, I've been in the boxing ring of politics, right in the middle. I have been punched, you know, when they punch you heavy. Mike Tyson used to say the first punch makes you drunk, the second punch wakes you up. Yep. So if you're lucky, the second one will wake you up and you go right back and punch. So I have been punched several times, I have gone down, I've gotten up. So I've seen the pain and the glory of politics and the sacrifice that is required. It's tough. And our country is at crossroads now where we need leadership at many, many levels. Many, many levels. It takes many people to create prosperity for a nation, but it also, when the country goes bad, it involves a lot of people who made it go bad. So responsible leadership at many levels are needed. I'll define what that means tomorrow. We're at crossroads. The economy is bad. Economies don't go bad overnight. Yes, they can be hit with external shocks. They can be hit with internal shocks, whether it's iron ore price or Ebola. But for the economy to collapse, it takes time. It takes time for an economy to collapse. I'm a PhD in economics, ag economics. I know what I'm talking about. It doesn't just happen. Guinea and Liberia also had Ebola, right? They also depend on raw materials, commodities, iron ore, bauxite. But they didn't collapse. The economies did not collapse. Why did the Sierra Leonean economy collapse? That's what we ask ourselves. This is not partisan politics. Are you all Sierra Leoneans in here? Yes. Thank you very much. Let's put the party colors aside. When the economy goes bad, you suffer, right? Yes. Because you have to send money every week. Yes. For everything. So we have to have a genuine discussion about why our economy has collapsed. It's tough. Yeah, exchange rate, 8,000 3 weeks ago. 10 days ago before I left, 8,400. Today I called, one of the businessmen told me, if I get luck, I go buy 8,800. And when I look at the projections that I see coming, it's gonna be tough for the very poor. And to rebuild that economy, we need everybody. That's why I say it's going to be responsible leadership at many levels. We've had a change of government. After conflict, sometimes in the UN we say it takes 3 transfers of power before you know a country is settled. We've just done the second, right? From Tijan Kaba to Anes Bai Koroma to His Excellency Madabio now. Well, we did that reasonably peacefully. Some of us tried for that position, it didn't work. for many, many reasons. But that's water under the bridge. We always look ahead now. We now have a new president, His Excellency Madabio. We have to work with him for the sake of Sierra Leone to build that nation again. Yes, the last regime did what they can. But they also did some bad things, right? Not everything worked. We have to be frank to admit when things don't work. You were in America, you remember when the shuttle blew up, right? 1986, shuttle blew up. The Americans grounded all the shuttles, right? 2-3 years. But when they came back big. Big. They built a space station now, right? So you Americans know how to do it. When things go wrong, you do reverse engineering. You want to know to the last detail what went wrong. Why did our economy collapse? How do we rebuild it? That it's really in bad shape. I'm telling you, this is no fake business. This is no... You see the indicators. That's what I like about economics. You can fake for a while, but they'll see your inflation numbers. They'll see your GDP growth rates. They'll see what happens to your foreign exchange. So if things are good, those variables you can manage. But if they're bad, you may not be able to manage them, and the poor people pay the price. Yeah, the very poor. Yansane and others were asking me this evening about 062. This is the hunger month. Times are hard in Kichwa, but it's the same in Gambia. Gambia needs your help. I'm very happy you're investing in education. As you know, myself and the other members of parliament, we invited the Minister of Education to come to Gambia. We were the first to do it. Forget about politics now. If the government says free education, don't you want free education in Gambia? Yeah. Don't you want better schools in Gambia? Yeah. So yes, we support His Excellency Madabio to bring free education to Gambia, to build more schools. Our statistics are terrible. Yeah. Right after we brought the Minister of Education to Gambia, fortunately, we were lucky. Some of us had also visited the UN. The UNFPA also came to Gambia the following week. So it was as if Gambia was on the rise, and that's what we want. But that day we were shocked as well. The Minister of Education came, Deputy Minister of Planning. So UNFPA did us an honor. They launched the World Population Day in Gambia. Never happened before. So the whole UN, IMF team were there. But then they said, Gambia has the unenviable position of #1 in terms of having more children. Yes. Yes, we're #1, highest birth rate according to UNFPA. It is good, but it's a challenge, right? So that small farmland you have to divide 10 times now. Many more children in the household. Everything, more mouths to feed. More schools